Hello, this is Kate from the MumSpace project. This week I wanted to think a little bit about dealing with our children's challenging behaviour. If, like me, being stuck at home, not being able to get out so much, all being in all the time, all together, maybe messed up sleep routines, it's just made dealing with our children's behaviour really, really difficult. So this week we're just going to have a little look at what might be behind some of the behaviour our children are displaying. And then the next couple of weeks with my blogs, I hope to be unpacking what can we do to manage some of those difficult behaviours. Most of the resources we'll be looking at are from the Being a Parent course, which is run by EPEC. And they have a great Facebook page that they've just started with parenting tips. So if you want to find out more about that, the contact details are here. And we'll be referring to being a parent quite a bit. Earlier on in some of our blogs, we've spoken about playing with our children. That is a great way to spend time with them. And that was part of the learning from the EPEC course that Catherine shared. And I've also talked about the two main fundamentals of the Being a Parent course are remembering there is no such thing as a perfect parent, and we need to look after ourselves and so that we can meet the needs and demands of our children. So what we're going to do now is just look at a couple of slides from the EPEC Being a Parent course, and I will just unpack them a little bit for you to help you think, take a step back and think what might be going on behind the challenging behaviour my children are displaying, because sometimes if we can understand that and their needs, we can stop the really difficult behaviour that's sending us crazy as parents from happening. So let's get started. So this first slide is from the EPEC's Facebook page, and you'll see on the left it says Empowering Parents, Empowering Communities, and that is what EPEC stands for. So understanding the needs behind our children's behaviour. It's easy to get caught up in what your children do wrong and miss the underlying needs. Most naughty or irritating behaviour is not deliberate. Our children do not do it, as it says in the second point, with the aim of winding you up. But most of it is caused by their underlying needs. So how do we unpack what or understand what those underlying needs might be? We're going to move on to the next slide that tells us a little bit more about what that might mean. So all of us have needs in our lives. Some of those needs are around eating, needing to eat or sleep, wanting to feel safe and valued or loved, or maybe wanting to feel interested in things and in life and learning things, becoming and achieving our full potential. So as adults, we have needs, and our children are no different. And what can really help when we're thinking about our children's behaviour is to think, what is the need behind the behaviour? So often we see the behaviour, the challenging behaviour, and it's a really good question to think, why is my child displaying that behaviour, and what needs are they trying to meet? And this slide gives some really helpful examples. They might want to know you're loving them, and they really want to hug even though you're busy. They may want to feel, particularly at the moment, safe and secure with everything going on, and may want to stay close to you. And what are the times when in your day when you can give your child that closeness? Can't do it all the time, but when can you? Maybe at bedtime, snuggling up close, making them feel safe and secure. They may be asking loads and loads of questions, and you're finding it really challenging, but the need underneath it is that they have a need to learn and be curious about the world. How can you meet some of that curiosity in the day? You can't do it all the time, but maybe finding an activity, watching something together, reading a book together. They want your approval, and they will show you things over and over again. And that's not because they want to annoy you, but it's because they want you to say, wow, well done, I'm really proud of that. And often when we've said something to affirm our children and make them feel good, they don't need to keep showing us the thing that they wanted to show us. They want our attention. This is a massive one. Your children are probably finding ways at the moment to get your attention, especially if you're on the phone. I find this quite a lot. So you're on the phone, you've taken the attention away from them, and they will maybe starting to get worse and worse behaviour, screaming and shouting to get your attention. Sometimes you have to take that phone call, but maybe it's about us thinking, maybe things like phones that take our attention away from our children. Can we do that at a better time? This is our final slide. So maybe your child is struggling saying no to everything. It could be because of a need for them to feel independent. They are maybe growing up, getting a bit older, and they want to be able to be themselves and try things out for themselves. How can you enable your child to be independent in the day? Maybe by helping to put their own clothes on, or helping to pour some cereal into a bowl, or getting their own bowl out of the drawer. Anything that will help them feel independent may help them feel more respected and valued, and not feel the need to try and assert their independence in other less helpful ways. Children being bored is one of the speech bubbles here. I think that's a real challenge at the moment. Maybe they're bored and therefore their behaviour is becoming difficult. Thinking about things like a routine can really help. For many of our children, they've lost, and for us, we've lost the normal routines of life, and it's really, really hard. So what routine can you build in to your day to mean that they know something different is coming next? Maybe a bit of singing time, time to read a story, time for some playing on their own while you make the dinner. Whatever you want to build into your day will help you feel more confident and will help stop them get bored, and that will help their behaviour improve. Our children have a need to feel useful, and sometimes they can help by washing up or trying to copy things that we're doing, and it can make a mess and be very stressful. So how can you enable your child, whatever age they are, to feel useful and to help round the house? Maybe it's a bit of sweeping, helping put some toys away, give them a little cloth and clean the windows. When you're doing chores, why not think about how they could do something as well? And lastly, the biggest challenge I think for many of us is that our children need to know where they stand, and they do that through testing the boundaries around them and testing what they can and can't do. And this is a really difficult one as a parent, and we'll be thinking a lot more about this in my next couple of blogs using the EPEC materials. But what can we do as parents? What's in our toolbox that when our children push our boundaries, we've got a boundary we can put in, but also how we can encourage positive behaviour that we want to see more of.